Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. Kind of periodically like to do just a general kind of an update regarding U.S. immigration from Thailand. Something we're kind of noticing, we're noticing a lot here in the firm is just seems to be a major uptick in so-called RFEs or requests for evidence. We're also seeing kind of an uptick with respect to issues involving the National Visa Center or NVC. Now, a couple of things to bear in mind here. My perspective might be a little bit skewed because, a year ago, we were very much in the doldrums with respect to immigration processing. COVID just had frozen up a lot of this. Well, COVID didn't. The government's response to COVID froze up a lot of the system, and we just weren't seeing things being processed particularly quickly. Things are starting to move a lot faster, and it seems like there's a lot of activity going on, but RFEs were once, for me, requests for evidence, they were pretty darn rare. It just wasn't something you saw very often. And then, more and more, this happened a lot under the last administration, especially the final 2 years of the last administration. And it really hasn't changed that much since the changeover to this new administration. We just see a lot more requests for evidence than we used to see. Meanwhile, I've said this before and I'll say it again, National Visa Center is a quagmire. I think it's the worst of all worlds. It's kind of like an almost digital Sovietized, document collection apparatus designed to not really help. And by this, I mean, you'll upload documentation frequently to NVC that's in perfectly good order. They'll make some request and there won't even be really any good reason why. Another big issue I have with NVC, I've discussed this in other videos, they really shouldn't be adjudicating domicile. Domicile is a very nuanced issue. Frankly, it's something that consular officers should be dealing with at U.S. embassies and consulates abroad on a case-by-case basis. And yet NVC has taken this one-size-fits-all attitude, which, again, as I've noted, it's an almost kind of Soviet kind of situation because there's no real way through it. You provide the documentation that shows, in my opinion, pretty well clears up the issues of domicile, and they just continuously say, oh, we want something else, or this isn't sufficient, or, and it gets to the point where it's like, well, what do you want? And yeah, I understand domicile is a murky issue, it's nebulous, we've discussed this in other videos, but, just the overall system at NVC, it lacks many things to be desired, I'll put it that way. But long story short, yeah, on the positive note with respect to U.S. immigration, things are speeding up. On a negative note, unfortunately, we're just seeing a lot more RFEs than I'm used to seeing in a given year. And we're also seeing more activity by NVC, which quite frankly is not really helping. In my opinion, it's just kind of bogging down the overall process.